welcome to this video. As you can see, here's a radar loop of it's loose quickly. And as you can see in the beginning of the video, it was showing a radar loop of post-tropical cyclone block whose remnants are moving through the San Francisco area and bringing unusually heavy rainfall to this region in a place where it generally rains once a summer at all. They've got more than a summer's worth of rainfall in just a matter of just the past 24 hours. However, I do not think there's been any significant flooding. Our main story today, however, is not Blanca. It is recently declared Tropical Depression 3, which formed from Invest 84E. It's formed from Invest 84E. The Invest was given around an 80% chance of developing within 2 days and a 90% chance of developing within 5 days at 18Z, but after 3 hours later at the synoptic time, which is right about now, the NEC correctly opted to upgrade the system into Tropical Depression 3 in spite of sad numbers for whatever reason, due to the fact that it was technically only 2 out of 10 banding. Gave the system a 1.0, even though TFB would have given the system a 2.5, it was forced down to 2.0 due to Dvorak constraints. Now let's take a look at the tracks for the system. You can see within GFS ensemble tracks. I'll talk about the GFS ensembles a bit later. You can see there's a wide variety of tracks. You can see some of them were sort of that scenario that was pretty much about a week old, and this week-old scenario of the system making into the Gulf of Mexico, I think it's relatively unlikely, as I said yesterday. However, there has been a gradual westward shift in both the ensembles and the operational European runs. You can see many of the GFS ensembles now keep the system offshore and thus not a landfalling threat to the Mexican coast, so I do think Outer Bands can certainly bring some life-threatening flash floods to Mexico regardless, even if the most westernmost scenario happens. First of all, let's look at them. Speaking of ensembles, let's look at this. The 12Z run from yesterday. You notice how most of the ensembles keep this pretty close to the Mexican coast. However, by the 18Z runs, when I started to notice some quite dramatic shift to them. To the west, and that's when the model started to trend westward. Even though some of the operational models actually, believe it or not, trended eastward, you can still see a little bit of an eastward camp here in the ensembles. You can see right here. It was very, very interesting to know. Even the operational GFS hasn't shifted that much. If anything, it may have shifted a tad east, and it appeared earlier that the European GFS were actually, believe it or not, starting to become more in line with each other. However, a lot has changed since early this morning. Even though the GFS run hasn't changed, the 12Z run was actually pretty far east because it showed this very strong ridge. And it showed a relatively strong ridge off the southeast coast as well, and a weaker trough. But enough for the system to meander to the north, in between the two ridges and under the influence of this relatively weak trough and maybe to a lesser extent this trough over British Columbia. Or British Columbia and Alberta. It's still in there on the GFS runs. In addition, this is the zero. Who had the zero? This is an earlier run, the 0Z, so it's pretty much the same thing, the trough. So it's pretty much the same thing. So even from the 0Z to 12Z GFS runs, there's not that much of a difference. If anything, the 12Z GFS run is, hold on, let me look at it. To show the 12Z GFS runs a little bit further west, but it's not really that significant. Not enough to think that you ain't. Not enough for it to be what I'd call good agreement with the NEC forecast track. Let's take a look at the European. That's when you're going to notice the big shift. Here's the 0Z European. Notice the weaker ridge, but stronger trough here, and a stronger ridge to the southeast now in favor of a fast-moving tropical cyclone into Mexico, ready to bring heavy rains to Texas and New Mexico. This is the scenario I discussed in my video last night. And this was what looked like bound to happen until recently. However, the 12Z European was totally different. That shows an even weaker ridge than any GFS one has shown. That's interesting because the GFS has a tendency to overdo ridges, maybe even a slightly stronger trough. Trough strength looks about the same. The angling of the British Columbia trough looks a little bit different here. And even the angling of the Four Corners / Texas trough is a little bit different. And even with the stronger ridge, this could act as a little bit of a blocking mechanism. And since there's not as much blocking to the west as there once was, the system will be able to now take a track which was similar to Hurricane Calvin of 1993, which hit Mexico in early July, like central Mexico, and leaving Manzanillo, then emerges the Gulf of California, hit Baja California as a tropical storm. That's more somewhat, minus the landfalling part. I mean, the 12th European bring the system into the Gulf of California as a powerful hurricane, before also showing a landfall near Cabo as a bona fide hurricane, before curving out to track, somewhat similar to what you see in the late season a little bit. In particular, Hurricane Henriette in the 1995 is probably the best analog track-wise, even though that hurricane was in October, and this hurricane is going to be in late June. So something to keep an eye on. As I think I've discussed before, landfallers in multiple year El Nino years are actually somewhat common, as the four of the 5 recent second year El Ninos, well, kind of depends on your constitute, but 4 of the 5 more recent multi-year El Nino events showed had a landfalling hurricane in either July or early August. So this is something to keep a close eye on. Let's take a quick look at the other models. You see the HWF, which is backed off quite a bit in intensity last night. However, it's not quite on the westward camp yet. It's still showing a relatively east track that I believe later on takes into northern Mexico and into Texas. You can see the trough being set up. It's kind of off the page here. There's a trough set up to its north, and that should allow blankets of moisture to reach Texas once again. And once again, Texas could possibly be plummeted by this tropical system. The GFDL shows something pretty similar as well. I mean, and once again, it still brings into Oaxaca. And I mean, this is only slightly east than the earlier ones, if any east at all. And this is nowhere near the dramatic shift that was noted in today's 12Z European run. Furthermore, take a look at the no gaps for the Navy run. The Navy is kind of an outlier here, but it does not show as strong of a ridge, nor does it show as strong of a trough, but it also has this ridge further north, and because of the relatively weak atmospheric forcing shown by the model, the no gaps kind of has the system gradually drifting northward as it stays very weak, and not bringing at nearly as much rain to Texas. However, the no gap is not a particularly skillful model, so I consider this scenario a little bit of an outlier and not too likely to occur. The CMC, which quite interestingly has kind of shifted a little bit northward in most recent ones. Interestingly, several days ago, this was really the only model that kept us out to sea, with the exception of maybe some of the European runs. I mean, but this one shows a relatively strong trough. Not relatively strong trough, but a relatively strong ridge. And it shows a weird angle of the trough, but the angle is enough for the system to probably move at a north or northwest trajectory, and once again bring rain to Texas and New Mexico. By comparison, here's the Japanese model, which shows a weaker, which is on a little bit of a more eastward camp, because it doesn't show as strong of a ridge here, and it shows a strong ridge over the southeast, and it shows a little bit more easterly of a Yeah, no, a little bit more of a westerly. Excuse me. JMA's on the western end of the Guardians because it shows a more weaker ridge, stronger ridge over the southeast, and a more westerly trough. And those all three factors favor a tropical cyclone in the East Pacific, Carlos, which is what this will likely be named later. Which is what the system will be named later tonight or early. Not later tonight, but yeah, it'll likely be named later tonight. The GMA is sitting at more of an offshore track. Even though it's quite interesting to know that this model does tear it up, I would make a counter argument that this overall stealing pattern, even though it actually does strengthen the ridge a little bit just in time, I'd argue that this overall pattern illustrated by the JMA does favor a system staying offshore. So right now, once again, like I was last time, I'm firmly in the offshore camp. The system will stay offshore the Mexican coast. So I will note that possible brief landfall similar to what was most recently observed by Hurricane Beatrice in 2011, Hurricane Andres in 2009 is possible. But I don't think any of these radical Bear Campeche or even like Remnant Spring, even Northern Mexico scenarios are feasible at this present time. That'll wrap up this video. Long video. I'll have another one out tomorrow. Unless conditions warrant otherwise, then I might have another one out tonight. Anyhow, bye. Bye. Bye.